This week on The Rock, we take a dive into the different CTE programs offered here at AHS, get some insight on an obscure hobby, and investigate students' opinions on the new phone policy. All this and more on The Rock.
Strong, we are the rock. We'll make the show until we drop. We'll bring you news and we won't tell you lies. Please watch the rock or we will cry. It's made for students just like you. You're gonna wanna see what we do this week on the rock. 3, 2, 1, we're live.
Welcome back to The Rock AHS. I'm Nadia.
And I'm Leo. We have a very interesting episode for you today.
We certainly do. First, we'll go to Leo and Kate, who asked students what they think of the new phone policy.
Hello AHS, second semester is here. With this new semester brings a new phone policy. Now students will have to put their phones in a wall pouch at the beginning of class and take them back at the end of class. This is a fairly controversial new policy, so me and Kate decided to send out a form to ask students about their opinions. 2/3 of students said that they disagreed with the new policy, and about 70% of students said that they felt passionate about their opinion with the new policy. So we decided to gather around some interviewees and see more in depth about how they felt.
We decided to do a trial of the phone policy for this second semester because we really want students focused on learning in their classes and not being distracted by cell phones. So we know that when students have cell phones nearby, even if the do not disturb is turned on or things like that, they're actually distracted by the cell phones. We've looked at a lot of research studies based on college students, different high school students, and they show that the mere act of having your cell phone nearby, people are thinking about it. They're like, oh, who's texting me? What's going on? Things like that. And they're not able to truly focus.
With Dr. Dewey providing her justification for the policy, we now wanted to see what students had to say about it.
Policy works for some, but definitely not for others. Like a lot of people I've noticed don't use their phones in class. Like it's always tucked away in the back, and rarely do I personally see, as a senior, I never see anyone use a phone unless it's like a sophomore or something.
I would say I'm pretty optimistic about the phone policy because for those who need it, I think it'll improve them paying attention in class. But I'm kind of pessimistic on the fact that some people don't really need it.
So we tried it in our study skills classes, we tried it in an English class, a few different classes to just say, okay, how did this go? Did it help things? Was it hard? And we got really positive feedback for how it was going. Students were more engaged in their classwork, they were getting more things done, and they were talking to each other more and engaged in the actual community of the classroom. We recognize that students, some of them go off campus at lunch, that we have students that leave early to go to athletic events or have late start, NCTA, all these different things. And it would make it really hard to lock and unlock all these phones. And also this does provide students the opportunity to text people during passing time if they need to do a quick text with their families or parents, and we want students to be able to.
School, I don't think it's as big because in general you've been in school for what, 11 years now or something like that. You should know by now to put your phone away. You should now know that you should pay attention to the teacher. You should know by now that.
I would say to students that feel like this is unnecessary or super strict is, I know students are using their phones during class, and students survived for centuries without cell phones and lived to tell about it, actually. And so you too can go 55 minutes without a cell phone.
As we continue to move into second semester, it remains to be seen whether the phone policy will be a success. For now, let's keep working to make the second semester as smooth as possible. We'll see how these new policies work out for the rest of the semester.
Yep, for our next segment, Grace and I took a deep dive into the life of Rowan Morgenthaler.
More specifically, his fragrances.
I first got into cologne about 3 years ago. I was maybe around 9 years old, and my grandpa gave me a cologne, which I don't like. It was Calvin Klein Obsession. I really like Armani, YSL. A lot of them are summer, like Aqua Geo Profondo, and yeah, YSLY EDP. This is Kismet Angel. It's one of my favorite, and it has like an apple-y scent. So there's like EDT, which is Eau de Toilette, EDP, Eau de Parfum. It's basically just like how long they last. Like Elixir's the most and they last the longest. And like EDT, they maybe last a couple hours. It's like a shower. The boys will understand. This is R2B2AI. It's one of the best atomizers in my collection. And yeah, it's like a fruity, spicy. I have a couple of vanilla fragrances as well. I have 1 mil in Elixir. Well, I used to have some old colognes, and then one time my brother's friends came over, and I offered to sell them to them, and they said yes, and I made money off of it. Sometimes I scam them, and maybe I make around $10 to $20 over a bottle of cologne. Smelling good is important to me because I like to smell good and also like the girls like it.
Before our last segment, let's look at what resources the public library has to offer.
This one's produced by Jaden.
It's pretty cool that the library has so many useful resources for the community.
Yeah, I know, right?
Anyway, don't go anywhere because we've got one more segment for you.
In our last segment, we're going in depth about an important part of high school.
Every high school student needs CTE or career technical education credits to graduate high school. Let's go to Odin, who went to the CTE teachers for more details.
I teach an engineering drawing and design class. That particular class is all about teaching students how to use a whole bunch of computer-controlled equipment such as laser cutters and vinyl cutters and 3D printers. The second class that I teach is a robotics class. The idea is to introduce students to the world of mechanics and electronics and a little bit of computer programming. The next course that I teach is an architectural drawing course, and in the architectural drawing course you learn how to design a house from scratch. Lots of students love this class because it also incorporates interior design and decoration concepts into it. The last course that I teach is woodshop. The idea is to teach students how to safely use bandsaws and drill presses and table saws, the laser cutter also, and to walk out of here with some really cool projects. All of these classes are part of the Career and Technical Education program for manufacturing here at Anacortes High School. They're super fun, and I would encourage everybody to try one of them.
So the health sciences is the umbrella that I teach under for career and technical education, or all the CTE classes. So within the health science umbrella, it's really about, depending on which class you're taking, it's either more medical related, so anatomy or sports medicine, or it's more of the how do I teach other people to be healthy, which would be the personal training class. And then of course, health, which all the freshmen take.
I'm Mr. Smock. I teach metals 1 through 4. Metals 1 and 2 is really an exploratory course for just learning how to be in the shop and understanding what's happening out there. Metals 1, you end up doing sheet metal and brazing, torch cutting, a couple of art projects. Metals 2, you end up doing forging and welding, machining, and a couple more torch projects. And then Metals 3-4 is really that preparatory course where you've decided, hey, this might be something I actually want to do for a living. And or in my classes, if you take Metals 4 times, you can receive that coveted 3rd math credit that you would need to graduate.
I teach digital media. That's sort of an intro class to all things video. There's sound stuff in it as well. I also teach advanced digital media. There's also yearbook, which yearbook's a very special thing. I think it's like a privilege and a lot of responsibility. They're And that class is cool because you work on photography, you work on design, and you work on journalism.
If you haven't already, you should take some CTE classes. Class registration for upcoming seniors starts today.
Well, that's all, folks.
We hope you enjoyed our first show back.
If you have any questions, comments, segment ideas, or concerns, feel free to email us at therock@asd103.org, and to make sure to follow us on Instagram at therockahs. I'm Nadia.
And I'm Leo.
And from our rock to yours,
Have a great day, AHS.